All right, let's get her going here on game day. The Real Kipper and Bourne Show. Nick Kiprios, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee, Derek Randale, Jake the Snake Schultz. We are live on Sportsnet 590 The Fan, Sportsnet 360, and Sportsnet Plus. In about 35 minutes, we'll welcome in Ken Danico, three-time Stanley Cup champion, doing color analyst with MSG, covering the New Jersey Devils. Tonight, Jesper Bratt, who leads the Devils in scoring, will go up against Austin Matthews and the Toronto Maple Leafs with what could be tonight, Sammy, a preview of a Four Nations final between Sweden and USA.
Okay.
Does that excite you at all?
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I'm in.
You know what? I can't. There's three results I accept.
From tonight's game?
No, from the Four Nations face-off.
Okay.
Canada wins.
Yeah.
Number one.
Yeah.
Number two,
Canada wins.
America doesn't win. Number three, everyone comes home healthy. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If Sweden or Finland wins, who cares?
Whatever. Event never
America
happens.
wins,
Yeah.
then we got a problem.
I'm sure Bratt feels wonderful about that.
You know, Sheldon yesterday on our show sure talked up Mr. Brad, didn't he?
He did.
He talked about his lifestyle and how he lives and how he handles himself. That's one of those things you never really know
Yeah.
unless you follow a team.
Well,
super
his
close.
Leafs were boozing it up all those years.
That's right. A bunch of drunks. I don't know. We made that up. That's not true.
Guys, I can't get a lineup right.
What'd you do now?
Well, I just got a text from our boy Jake the Snake. He's like, horrendous spelling of my name. I just can't burn. I can't.
There's no C in Schultz here. Is that what we're missing?
Yeah, I think it might be time for me to quit. Make everyone happy.
Gotta leave that part out of the lineup or something.
Make everyone
You
happy.
are
Yes,
trying
yes.
your best, right?
I am.
Okay,
I'm
that's a
trying my
scary
best.
thought then.
That's not the answer you wanted.
No.
You wanted to hear
You
you've
wanted
been
to hear
mailing
we
it
got
in.
mailing it in?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
wow.
don't know what the heck's going on.
I suck. What do you want from me?
Now,
No, you don't.
you don't have a good feeling about tonight, Sammy?
Oh,
I'm starting with you because you did kind of, we don't talk much before our show,
yeah.
but you did
Mhm.
squeak out a little bit of a, I don't feel good about tonight.
You
I
think
still
they're
feel this. I do think tonight, I felt pretty good about the Leafs in this last little while, just in terms of how they've been playing and how they've looked and some of the wins they've had. I even thought that they were okay against Pittsburgh on Saturday night with some mistakes mixed in there. Thought they were brutal on Friday against Washington. But going into this one, I don't know. I just don't have a great feeling about it. I really don't. I think that Keefe, after they lost that second game of the year, he was pretty pissed off after that game. I think if they're really going to show up for their coach tonight, tonight's a game where they're kind of buzzing around. They got Bastion back. I know it's not a big deal, but they're getting guys back in the lineup. Markstrom's starting. He's been hot.
They got thumped 4-0 the other night.
coming off a bad loss.
So with the thought of Max Domi going in again and the need for secondary scoring, you don't get that vibe, JB, that coming off a couple of losses on the weekend that they can find a way to get a second win in New Jersey?
There's lots of reason to be optimistic here. If you're a Leafs fan, Austin Matthews, they've talked about how he struggled a little bit to find it, but he's had enough games now, getting his feet back under him. Max Domi is back. We've complained about depth scoring a little bit, so maybe he can come back and provide some of that.
Oh, yeah.
Coming off a couple
He's had
losses.
a ton of goals.
Ton of goals. Coming off a couple losses themselves, you would think they'd be motivated. Pacioretty back in the... There is reasons to think the Leafs should be fine tonight, but I can't shake it either, Kip. I kind of feel like Sam does. Couple losses here, playing a good team in
really
New
good
Jersey.
I
I think they're in tough. They're in tough tonight.
Okay, let's go to Craig Berube for our first Kippers Clipper of our show on what he may see from the New Jersey Devils.
We've got some great players over there, with tons of speed and talent. Power play is obviously number one in the league. They play a good brand of hockey. They do a lot with the puck, make a lot of plays. Like I said, great speed and very good power play.
But at least the Leafs have Jake McCabe back, right? Guys? No?
He's
not
fine,
playing.
right? He's not playing.
So they're overcooking him.
Oh,
What, you think
yeah,
concussion?
I do. Yeah. I mean, I'm not listen, we've been told day to day, they're trying to downplay it.
This is
he
What else
lies
could
every
it
day.
be other than that?
we know their playbook on this,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And it always comes about with tell us how you feel. Is it McCabe now going, I don't feel right? Or is it the Leafs saying,
You don't feel right.
take another night off?
I feel like they wait for the player to say, I'm good. And then the staff says, I'm good. And everyone's like, we're good. Okay, we're going to be 2 more days. Like they
Not a
just are
doctor.
being so careful. What is your thought on players telling them I'm not ready? I get some vibe from you on these sort of the player telling them stuff.
Under this scenario where a guy got a puck into the head, I tend to be on the side of being very careful. So
Other things less
other
so?
thing, well, I just think at some point, do I believe if this was a must win or the start of the playoffs, I think Jake McCabe would be playing.
Yeah.
And I do believe, I do buy into the theory that I've told you guys earlier that they've got a lot of depth now and they're not scared to keep guys out a little extra longer than we've ever seen in the past.
Yeah, old Philippe Myers played 18 minutes the other night alongside Morgan Riley, and I believe he's again going to be in that spot.
If there's a team that you want to get Jake McCabe back in the lineup to have your number one shutdown D pair back together, this is one you would probably have circled.
Yeah.
Not Thursday against the Anaheim Ducks. No respect to the Ducks who, fought valiantly against the Montreal Canadiens last night. But, the Ducks as a team that's like, oh, you don't need to prioritize that. Tonight's the type of game that you need to prioritize.
What are we on? Is this like day 4 of day-to-day for Jake McCabe? Because we went
No, we're game 4 of day-to-day.
This is game 5 he's going to miss, no?
Yeah, but I'm just saying it's
Yeah.
okay. You missed one, and then it was like, no, he's day-to-day.
But everybody got real tired of the Austin Matthews day-to-day when it went to game 7 or 8.
Yeah.
So I'll give him one more game outside of this one to come back. And then I'm like,
Then you'll jump on board with it.
I'll
All
jump
right.
on board with you. Okay?
I will give them the benefit of the doubt here with this one.
One more game.
No, that I think there is some, I think with a perceived concussion after getting hit in the head with a puck. I mean, I'm not sure what else it would be, but I think there's a little bit more up and down nature to that where you're maybe not quite as sure. And because I forget what game it was before, he took part in full practice where he was skating in the line, like they had the lines. He was part of the line rush's main unit out there. And then he didn't play in the next game. Then he kind of went back off a little bit. So there's a bit of a benefit of the doubt with him with that. With Matthews, I think
It's bad.
Anyways.
That's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Let's get Craig Ruby's thoughts on Jake McCabe.
Jake McCabe won't play tonight. Max Domi will be a game time decision.
You're expecting Jake back at some point this week, or is it kind of the day-to-day, how he's feeling?
Yeah, it's day to day right now, but
This
it's
guy.
day to day. Is probably the best way to put it right now.
There's a
Is
lot
there
of
any
days.
other way to put it?
There's a lot of days in the month, and on one of the days, he'll be back that day or the other day.
And yet another
It's the plan.
another media availability where they're having it beside a blacksmith. I don't know where the hell they do these press conferences. There's
Ford Automotive Plant.
Old timey jail.
Rattling a tin can against the.
So he misses
the
tonight.
bars.
And we see the Leafs play Anaheim at home on Thursday and then go on the road Saturday night in Detroit. So we'll be covering that game Thursday night
We sure will.
for Sportsnet
Tune in.
Ontario.
Wanted to ask you, when McCabe comes back, are we sure that come playoffs, they're going to want to load up a pair, which is McCabe and Tanev, as the shutdown pair?
Yeah.
Or do we think there's a chance it goes back to Riley and Tanev, McCabe Benoit, which was a good shutdown, OEL in the third pair, and
I love Tanev and
Me too.
I love it too.
Yeah.
It's amazing. But this
Tanev
is
and
like
McCabe.
this is Matthews Marner to me, where it's like, are we sure it's best for the team that they're together?
The Toronto Maple Leafs may be taking a new approach to salary management, which could directly impact Mitch Marner's contract negotiations. During Kyle Dubas' tenure as general manager, the team didn't hesitate to spend heavily, and this trend began with a 6-year extension signed by Marner in 2019. At the time, Marner's $10.9 million annual cap hit set the market for superstar wingers, surpassing comparable players like Mikko Rantanen of the Colorado Avalanche, who signed a 6-year deal with a $9.25 million annual cap hit. Now, however, times seem to be changing. TSN's Pierre LeBrun recently reported that the Maple Leafs have implemented an internal salary cap, aiming to ensure no player earns more than captain Austin Matthews, who signed a 4-year extension worth $13.25 million per season in August 2023. The team's primary concern revolves around Marner's agent, Darren Ferris, who, according to LeBrun, might push for a percentage of the total salary cap instead of a fixed dollar amount. This could result in Marner's cap hit exceeding Matthews' $13.25 million, conflicting with the Leafs' new financial strategy. Ferris is known for driving negotiations to the limit, often taking his clients to free agency. This raises fears that discussions between Marner and the Leafs could drag on until July 1st, giving Marner and his camp all the leverage in negotiations. Another complicating factor is the rising market. LeBrun noted that Mikko Rantanen believes he could secure $14 million per season as a free agent. This sparks the question, could Marner demand even more? And would Ferris take that gamble, knowing the Leafs might opt to move on and sign another player? Marner has made it clear on multiple occasions that Toronto is where he wants to be. As a local player with deep ties to the city, he's expressed his desire to spend his entire career wearing the blue and white of the Leafs. However, staying with the team may require him to accept less than market value, especially if the front office remains committed to its new salary structure. Such a sacrifice could be vital for the team's collective success and to avoid financial issues that have plagued the recent past. While negotiations are still in the early stages, it's evident that Marner's future with the Leafs is at stake. Maple Leafs fans may need to prepare for the possibility of significant changes, but they can also trust in the player's commitment to the city and the franchise to find a compromise. The Maple Leafs' decision to implement an internal salary cap reflects a broader shift in their team-building philosophy. After years of prioritizing top-end talent with hefty contracts, the organization appears determined to strike a balance between superstar contracts and depth throughout the roster. This strategy aims to avoid the pitfalls of past seasons, where a lack of financial flexibility often left the team vulnerable in critical playoff moments. For Mitch Marner, this shift creates a unique challenge. On one hand, his value to the Leafs is undeniable. A consistent top scorer and elite playmaker, Marner has been instrumental in driving the team's offense. On the other hand, his ability to command a salary that rivals or exceeds Austin Matthews could put the Leafs in a difficult position, especially with a potential need to strengthen other areas of the roster. As the 2023-24 season progresses, the Leafs must weigh the potential consequences of sticking to their cap philosophy. Losing a homegrown talent like Marner would undoubtedly sting for fans and the organization alike. However, allowing one player to dictate financial terms beyond the team's structure could hinder long-term success and force painful sacrifices elsewhere. Adding to the complexity is the looming free agency of William Nylander. If the Leafs are to stick to their internal salary cap, they may also face challenges in retaining Nylander, who could command a significant raise. Balancing contracts for both Marner and Nylander within the new framework could prove to be the ultimate test for Toronto's management team. Another factor at play is the team's ultimate goal, winning the Stanley Cup. While star players like Marner and Matthews are crucial, history has shown that depth and balanced rosters often prevail in the postseason. If the Leafs fail to manage their finances effectively, they risk falling short of building a championship-caliber team, even with elite talent. For Marner, the decision to stay with the Leafs might come down to more than just dollars. His connection to the city, the fans, and his teammates could be deciding factors. If he prioritizes legacy and loyalty over maximizing earnings, there's a strong possibility that he'll work with the team to find a deal that benefits both parties. Negotiations will also test Darren Ferris, known for his hardline tactics in securing lucrative deals for his clients. While pushing for top dollar is expected, Ferris may need to weigh the risks of alienating the Leafs' management and fanbase. A prolonged stalemate could damage Marner's relationship with the team and its supporters. The Leafs' management, led by general manager Brad Treliving, faces a pivotal moment. Treliving's reputation as a negotiator and team builder will be on full display as he navigates this high-stakes scenario. Striking the right balance could solidify his tenure in Toronto, while a misstep might set the team back for years. For Maple Leafs fans, the coming months will be filled with anticipation and uncertainty. Marner's future, along with the team's ability to stay competitive under financial constraints, will likely dominate conversations as the season unfolds. Supporters can only hope that the team's new approach leads to greater playoff success and, ultimately, the elusive championship. In the end, the outcome of these negotiations could redefine the Maple Leafs' identity for years to come. Whether it results in retaining Marner or reshaping the roster, the team's commitment to an internal salary cap signals a clear focus on long-term sustainability. Fans will be watching closely, hoping for a resolution that keeps the team's core intact and their championship dreams alive. As the negotiations with Mitch Marner progress, another layer of complexity is added by the external competition in the NHL market. Teams with more cap space and fewer restrictions could easily present lucrative offers to Marner if he reaches free agency. The Leafs are not only negotiating with Marner but also indirectly competing with other franchises willing to outbid them for his services. One example of this is Mikko Rantanen, whose potential $14 million value on the open market highlights the growing demand for elite wingers. If Rantanen secures such a deal, it could set a precedent that Marner's camp would use as leverage. The Leafs, however, must remain disciplined, as breaking their internal salary cap for Marner could lead to similar demands from other key players down the line. The looming specter of free agency means the Leafs have a limited window to strike a deal. If negotiations drag on into the off-season, the leverage shifts heavily in favor of Marner and his agent. Darren Ferris, known for his strategic patience, could use this to push for maximum value, putting even greater pressure on the Leafs management to make a decision. This scenario also places significant pressure on head coach Sheldon Keefe. Managing a team amid ongoing contract uncertainty can disrupt chemistry and focus. Keefe will need to ensure that the team remains united and focused on their performance, even as the media and fans speculate about Marner's future. Meanwhile, the Leafs core group, including Austin Matthews, Morgan Rielly, and John Tavares, will likely play a role in influencing Marner's decision. The camaraderie among the players and their collective drive for a championship could persuade Marner to accept a deal that aligns with the team's financial structure. On the flip side, the Leafs could explore contingency plans if a deal with Marner doesn't materialize. Trading Marner would be a bold move, but it could bring significant assets in return, potentially bolstering the team in areas like defense or secondary scoring. This option, while unpopular with fans, might be necessary to maintain roster balance. The timing of these decisions is also critical. With the trade deadline months away, the Leafs must assess whether keeping Marner without an extension risks losing him for nothing in free agency. A preemptive trade could avoid this scenario, but it would also signal a significant shift in the team's short-term goals. Fan sentiment will undoubtedly influence the team's approach. Marner is not just an exceptional player, he's a fan favorite and a symbol of homegrown talent succeeding in Toronto. Losing him could lead to backlash, especially if the team struggles in the aftermath of his departure. The broader NHL landscape also plays a role. As other teams navigate their own salary cap challenges, the Leafs can learn from their successes and failures. Organizations like the Tampa Bay Lightning and Vegas Golden Knights have shown the value of balancing star power with depth, offering a potential blueprint for Toronto's future.